What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another review by Redonkulous Gaming. I am Redonk. Be sure to visit our website, www.redonkulousgaming.com. Follow us on Twitter, @RedonkGaming, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Today, we're going to get into the review of The Flame in the Flood for the Nintendo Switch. This is the Complete Edition, which is the re-release that was released on October 12th, 2017. Prior to the inception on the Switch, it was made available across PC, Xbox, and PlayStation in February of 2016. The Flame in the Flood is a post-apocalyptic survival game that forces you, the player, to make the life-altering decisions very early in the game. The story unfolds as you take control of a character named Scout and her trusty sidekick and pooch pal Aesop. Where you go and what your experience looks like is up to you. It's shocking what little we've seen about The Flame in the Flood since its release on Nintendo Switch, because it is something that is a lot of fun and really gives you a different playthrough every single time you play the game. Now, the overall gameplay and the overall concept is pretty darn simple. Don't die. Now, how you go about doing that is a little bit more complicated. When the game kicks off, you start a new campaign as a survival newbie or a pro. If you are new to the survival game genre, then do yourself a favor and go with the easier difficulty. While most games of this genre will have you stockpile supplies early on for your journey, The Flame in the Flood forces hard decisions by giving you limited bag space and forcing strategy early on. Your adventure and journey require you to raft, walk, and run all over a flooded terrain, gathering, crafting, cooking, skinning, eating, sleeping, and managing 4 key categories to stay alive. Those categories are hunger, thirst, body temperature, and fatigue. Other negative status effects can occur, which require you to manufacture medicine and treat negative ailments as needed. Wildlife and other non-player characters can also influence your journey. Whether you're hunting rabbits to make jerky or being chased by a wild boar, each stop you make along the river leads to a new experience. The game also has a fun quest system which allows you to stay on the path to success and survival. Each benchmark achieved helps to ensure survival as more time goes on. Now, the overall idea here is to live as long as you can by doing as many things as you can to stay alive. A big part of this is the crafting system, and The Flame in the Flood does not hold your hand at all, and you're essentially thrown into the fire from the get-go on the crafting system. There are a couple of helpful tips early on in the campaign, but other than that, it's up to you to look up the crafting recipes and gather the essential materials to make what is needed. Now, the crafting system itself becomes relatively straightforward the more that you play. Lumber can be used to patch up the raft or start a fire, and certain plants can be used to create animal traps or even medications. You can trap and skin animals to create new clothing as well as sustenance, and you can use jars to collect water to be purified and consumed to manage your thirst. Now, one nuance that The Flame in the Flood throws into the mix is the raft and the use of the raft to get around and ultimately help determine your survival. Now, in order to move around from place to place, you must learn to manage and steer the raft. You can gather supplies while passing smaller land masses, but you need to dock the raft to explore the terrain, gather materials, and sleep. The raft itself is somewhat difficult to maneuver and is incredibly fragile. Should you crash one too many times without patching the raft, then Scout and Aesop will drown and the game will be over. Now let's get into the review itself. We've seen a lot of different ports to the Nintendo Switch lately, and The Flame in the Flood is another great one. The best part about this game is that it can be had for only $15 on the Nintendo eShop. This game has wonderful replay value, and if you should die, the game keeps track of your personal best and lets you know when you have eclipsed that benchmark. Now, the adventure is never really the same, since you will likely not be able to hit all the same spots on the raft in a single playthrough. And the reason for that is that the current on the river is just too darn strong for you to be able to maneuver and hit every single stop. So, from one playthrough to the next, your experience will be drastically different. Now, the best part about The Flame in the Flood is that there really is little to no tutorial, which is something that survivalists should absolutely love. If you're fans of the genre, you'll love being thrown into the fire with The Flame in the Flood. There is so much to think about, and therefore so much to lose track of, which means so much can go wrong if you aren't adequately prepared. It's wonderful how something so simplistic can pull you in so easily. So when we take all this into consideration, the overall replay value, the fact that there's so many different nuances and things that you need to keep track of, and then you add in the fact that the raft is another complication that you'll encounter during your journey, and then top it all off with the fact that this little gem is only $15 on the eShop, makes this an absolute must-buy for anyone who is a fan of the survivalist genre. Now, Redonkulous Gaming gives The Flame in the Flood the complete edition for Nintendo Switch, a score of 8 out of a possible 10. Was this review helpful? Let us know in the comments section below. Be sure to subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Twitter at Redonk Gaming. Like us on Facebook. And be sure to stop by our website at www.redonkulousgaming.com.